Attention, diehard Cleveland Browns faithful. Breaking developments are shaking up the AFC North, and this could redefine the Browns' trajectory toward that long-awaited Super Bowl charge. We're not just talking minor shifts here. This is a full-on power realignment that could send a bitter division rival spiraling into chaos for seasons to come. And yes, you're hearing it here first. But before we dive in, if you bleed brown and orange, hit that subscribe button and become a vital part of this growing dog pound family. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers together and keep this fire burning. Let's break down what's really going on. If you've been following the NFL this offseason, and especially the ever-evolving saga in Berea, you already know things have been far from quiet. It's been a maelstrom of rumors, debates, and unexpected shakeups. But nothing, and I mean nothing, has generated more buzz than the Browns quarterback conundrum. This isn't just a personnel discussion. It's a defining moment, a crossroads that could determine not only the fate of this season, but the next 5 years of Browns football. Cleveland has been wandering the quarterback wilderness since the end of the Baker Mayfield era. The Deshaun Watson experiment brought headlines, but also headaches. And now, the Browns are in search mode again, hunting for the leader who can command the huddle and carry this franchise into January football and beyond. Fair, crowded, and complicated QB room. This year's quarterback room? It's a puzzle of potential and uncertainty. Joe Flacco, the seasoned veteran, brings poise and pedigree, but at this stage in his career, he's more of a bridge than a builder. His ceiling is capped, his best years behind him. Leadership? Yes. Long-term answer? Not likely. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, raw, electric, and full of upside. He's a project QB, a high-upside investment that could bloom if developed properly. And of course, Shedeur Sanders. The name alone turns heads. The son of Dion, the college phenom with charisma, arm talent, and swagger, but he's still green. Not quite ready to be handed the kingdom keys just yet. What we have here, folks, is experimentation mode. The Browns are mixing ingredients, trying to find the secret sauce that could finally deliver a Lombardi trophy to Cleveland. But here's where things get spicy. Amid this quarterback shuffle, a shocking storyline is emerging, one that could rock the AFC North. We're talking about none other than Kenny Pickett, the Pittsburgh Steelers' second-year quarterback. Yes, the same Steelers that have long been a thorn in the Browns' side. Pickett showed glimpses of promise last season, but he's still far from a finished product. In fact, according to former Browns great Hanford Dixon, it might be premature to even name Pickett the Week 1 starter. Dixon's take? The Steelers are in flux, still unsure whether Pickett can rise to the challenge or if another signal caller will step in. And let's be honest, Pittsburgh's current roster isn't exactly built to cushion a struggling QB. The offensive line has holes, and their receiving core is in transition. Why this matters for Cleveland: if the Steelers falter at QB, if Pickett can't take that leap, then the Browns stand to benefit massively. A weakened rival opens the door for Cleveland to seize control of the division, flip the script, and chart a new era of dominance. The AFC North has long been a battleground of grit, defense, and clutch quarterback play, but now the tectonic plates are shifting. The Browns don't just have an opportunity, they have a window. And if they find their guy under center before Pittsburgh does, it could be game over. So buckle up, Browns Nation, because this isn't just an off-season storyline, it's the beginning of a power shift. Sound off in the comments. Who do you think should be Cleveland's QB1? Will Shedeur shine early? Will Flacco surprise us? Or is a blockbuster trade still on the table? Smash that like, share with your fellow Dog Pound diehards, and stay locked in, because this season, everything's on the line. Calling all devoted Cleveland Browns fans, something monumental is stirring in the AFC North, and it could shift the balance of power in a way that redefines the Browns' playoff destiny. With the Steelers' quarterback situation hanging in the balance, opportunities are opening up for Cleveland's elite defense to dominate, and for the offense to exploit a rival that may be more vulnerable than it appears. But make no mistake, it's not just about Pittsburgh. Cleveland's own quarterback saga is heating up, and it may be the single most decisive storyline of the season. Let's break it all down. The Browns' QB room. a high-stakes chessboard. The Browns aren't exactly stacked with superstar options under center. Yes, Joe Flacco brings experience and playoff pedigree, but let's be real. He's no longer a Super Bowl caliber starter. At this stage in his career, he's a steady hand at best, not a long-term solution. The real buzz? It's starting to orbit someone else entirely. Better than before. So before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe for more insider breakdowns you won't hear on mainstream media. Now, here's a name not yet lighting up fantasy boards or plastered across billboards, but maybe it should be. Quinshon Judkins. And if analyst Lance Riceland is on the money, Judkins could be the ignition Browns fans have desperately craved, even if they didn't know it. Let's rewind. Cleveland's offense was historically dreadful last season, averaging just 15.2 points per game, dead last in the league. That's not just subpar, that's record-selling futility. Pair that with the worst turnover differential in the NFL, and you're staring at an offensive nightmare. Faith wasn't just fading, it was extinguished. But something shifted this offseason. No flashy free agent signings, no headline-chasing trades. Instead, the Browns recalibrated their approach, intentionally and intelligently. And that pivot began with Judkins. Riceland didn't sugarcoat it. "I think it's Judkins," he declared when asked which rookie would move the needle the most. And the reasoning is clear. Judkins isn't some volatile boomer-bust wild card. He's the embodiment of dependability. Across 3 seasons spanning the brutal SEC and Big Ten, he consistently posted 1,000-plus yards and 14-plus touchdowns every single year. No off years, no drop-off, just relentless production. But this isn't just about stat pitting. Riceland keyed in on something subtle yet vital, dominating first down. It may not be a highlight reel moment, but gaining 4-6 yards on first down transforms everything. It unlocks the playbook, it puts defenses on their heels, and Judkins is built for that trench warfare. Even before fully digesting the Browns playbook, this 21-year-old is going to be manufacturing second and manageable scenarios, the lifeblood of sustained drives. And here's the kicker. Judkins might just be the heir apparent to Nick Chubb. Now, hold on. That's not a statement made lightly. Chubb isn't merely a beloved player. He's the soul of Cleveland's offense, the physical manifestation of Brown's grit. But with injury clouds looming, the need for a reliable successor is urgent. Judkins isn't Chubb yet, but he's explosive, resilient, and hungry to prove he belongs. And he's not entering the backfield alone. Let's not overlook the Browns' 4th-round steal, Dylan Sampson. The Tennessee product logged a jaw-dropping 1,491 yards and 22 touchdowns last season. If deployed strategically, Stefanski could unleash a dynamic 2-headed rushing attack, Judkins as the tone setter, Sampson as the space exploiter. Now picture this, a wide zine scheme finally running as it was intended, Judkins pounding defenses into submission. Sampson slicing through open lanes, mismatches everywhere, flexibility the Browns haven't had in years. This isn't just a rebuild, this is a reimagining, but here's where things get truly compelling, because all that offensive firepower could amount to absolutely nothing if the offensive line can't hold its ground. That's the unspoken crisis, the elephant in the locker room. And analyst Trevor Sikkema isn't mincing words. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, both on the wrong side of 30 and both showing clear regression in their PFF grades. Ethan Pochik, the man in the middle, surrendered more pressures than he has in any season since his rookie year. Jack Conklin is playing for a new contract. And DeWand Jones, the one they're hinging their right tackle hopes on, posted a sub-50 PFF grade last season. Let that sink in. This revamped offense loaded with fresh weapons and theoretical upgrades is still being shielded by a front 5 that gave up 66 sacks last year. That's not just a warning sign, that's a screaming alarm. If this line disintegrates, everything collapses. The excitement around Judkins and Fannin or the rookie quarterbacks, irrelevant. The offensive line will be either the launch pad for a new Browns era or the anchor that pulls it all back into darkness. And that takes us to the architect behind it all, General Manager Andrew Berry. This isn't hyperbole. His future in Cleveland rides on this draft class. The 2025 NFL Draft wasn't just another opportunity. It was a crucial, career-defining moment. And Barry, his resume is checkered. While Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was his crown jewel, he's now out for the 2025 season with a significant neck injury. That puts the spotlight firmly on a new set of names. Quinshon Judkins, Mason Graham, and one of the rookie quarterbacks. They must hit. Barry passed on generational talent Travis Hunter at no 2, instead gambling on Graham at no 5. Bold, yes. Risky, without question, but it underscores how desperately Barry is hunting for cornerstone players. Mason Graham has to dominate in the trenches. Judkins must energize the offense, and one of those quarterbacks, he needs to emerge as the guy. Let's not forget Harold Fannin Jr., a record-setting tight end who must now evolve into a consistent, explosive presence in a receiving core that's thin on experience and short on spark. So here we are, perched on the edge of what could be a franchise-defining season for the Cleveland Browns, a roster re-infused with youth, a fan base fueled by hope, a front office on the clock. This is no longer about raw talent. It's about execution, durability, leadership, and grit. And somehow it might all hinge on the hunger and heart of a 21-year-old running back, Quinshon Judkins. The unlikeliest hero Cleveland never knew it needed. So what say you, Browns Nation? Is Judkins the future of this offense? Do you believe in Andrew Barry's vision? Or are we staring down the barrel of yet another rebuild in disguise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you believe this team is building something real, and don't forget to subscribe for all the twists, turns, and touchdowns of this unfolding Browns saga. Because here's the truth, 2025 isn't just another season. It's the climax of a storyline that's been building for years. Every draft pick, every trade, every quarterback shuffle, it all comes to a head now, and no one feels that pressure more than Andrew Barry. After the Deshaun Watson blockbuster, a deal that some insiders are already whispering could go down as one of the worst trades in league history, Barry is on the brink. This isn't about building a better team anymore. It's about saving his job, about salvaging the future. Let's talk quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, two high-profile rookies with polar opposite styles, both carrying immense potential, but also immense risk. Let's be honest, rookie QBs rarely thrive behind shaky protection and identity crises. If either one flashes even a hint of long-term promise this season, that's a massive win. But if they both struggle, no. 2 overall pick in 2026 may be the final lifeline. Barry has to get the quarterback situation right. And don't think ownership isn't watching. Jimmy Haslam made it clear at the league meetings back in March. This isn't about improvement, it's about results. It's about survival. The perception around Andrew Barry has evolved from young visionary to a general manager walking a tightrope with the abyss below. With 7 selections in this year's draft, he needs 3 minimum to become foundational players. So zoom in, focus. Quinshon Judkins, Mason Graham, Dillon Gabriel, Harold Fannin Jr., Carson Schwessinger, Dylan Sampson, Shedeur Sanders. These aren't just names. They're either the bricks of a new dynasty or the final remnants of another shattered plan. Maybe that's why this offseason feels different. Not noisy, not flashy, but quiet, determined, like a franchise that understands the stakes and is preparing not with noise, but with intent. So Browns fans, it's your turn. Dillon Gabriel, while talented and athletic, is still raw. The leap from college to the NFL is monumental, and development takes time. He's a prospect, not a plug-and-play savior. Then there's Shedeur Sanders, the electrifying rookie whose college film sparked excitement nationwide. But even with his arm talent and football IQ, Shedeur is adjusting to the sheer speed and complexity of the NFL. He's a name for the future, not quite the present. So what does this mean? It means Cleveland is once again in quarterback limbo, searching for both a short-term stabilizer and a long-term leader. It's not just about talent, it's about timing, chemistry, leadership, and readiness to win now. The bigger NFL picture, quarterback strategy. This isn't just Cleveland's problem, it's a league-wide narrative. Teams without a true franchise quarterback often ride a carousel of stopgap veterans and unproven rookies. The Browns, to their credit, have aggressively pursued answers through trades, drafts, and strategic signings, but the position remains unresolved. And that's why the Kenny Pickett storyline is so crucial. Former Browns legend Hanford Dixon recently cast doubt on Pickett's readiness to start for Pittsburgh. While Pickett flashed potential last year, his consistency and Pittsburgh's shaky offensive infrastructure remain serious question marks. If Pickett stumbles out of the gate, the Steelers could flounder early, giving Cleveland a golden opportunity to surge ahead in the division standings. The path ahead, hope meets urgency. Let's be honest, Browns fans, we've been through a lot. From playoff heartbreaks to quarterback roulette, this fan base has endured it all. But now, there's real hope. This is a storm. Silent, brewing, ready to erupt. And at the center of it all, a rookie feeling the weight of the world, a veteran being ignored, and a front office orchestrating moves that could shape the next decade of Browns football, for better or worse. You're not going to believe how deep this story goes, but before we go any further, smash that like button, but only if you've been repping brown and orange for 17 plus years. It means everything to see generations of loyal fans ride this roller coaster together. If you branch out further, you're meeting Preferen, a Hall of Famer. If you're one of them, drop this in the comments. Go Browns. My heart bleeds brown and orange. All right, buckle up. As we barrel into the 2025 season, the Cleveland Browns are facing a quarterback conundrum that's not just splitting the locker room, it's splitting the fan base and the analysts too. Kenny Pickett, the understated, system-friendly signal caller, is emerging as the coaching staff's hand-picked choice, but fans and even some respected veterans are looking elsewhere. There's Joe Flacco, the seasoned warrior who reignited the team last year and remains the sentimental favorite. Then there's Shedeur Sanders, the rookie sensation whose name alone creates more media frenzy than his stat sheet. For now, speaking of headlines, remember Colin Cowherd, the same national voice who initially called Sanders a future franchise quarterback after Cleveland scooped him at pick no 144? That hype didn't last long after reports emerged of Sanders allegedly flying over 100 EMBA 55 zone. Cowherd torched him on air. Not ready, immature, poor judgment. The takedown was swift, brutal, and public. But the real story? How fast he abandoned ship. Sanders is 23 years old, and whether you love him or hate him, let's be honest, Cleveland has tolerated far worse from quarterbacks over the last 20 years. Fans weren't silent either. He's 23. People make mistakes. You think we care about a speeding ticket after what we've endured for 2 decades? That's the vibe right now in Cleveland. Burned, but not broken. Cautiously hopeful, frustrated yet faithful. But while the fan base debates if Sanders should start, the front office appears locked in on Kenny Pickett. Yes, Kenny Pickett. He's calm, dependable, unflashy, and he's being prepped as QB1. But if you think that decision is resonating with the dog pound, think again. Veteran reporter Mary Kay Cabot pulled no punches. They are trending toward Kenny Pickett starting. And that's not what Browns fans want to hear. And she's right. Pickett doesn't ignite crowds like Flacco's cannon arm. He doesn't carry the intrigue or charisma of Shedeur Sanders. If Pickett takes the first snap in week 1, his margin for error will be razor thin. 1 interception, 1 sloppy loss, and the Joe Flacco chants will echo through First Energy Stadium like thunder. Dan Labby laid it bare. Let's say Kenny Pickett is just okay, and you're 1 through 3. How do you keep Myles Garrett happy? How do you keep Joel Bitonio engaged? Because those guys are looking over and seeing Joe Flacco sitting right there. That pressure, it's already building. That fracture already forming. The 2025 Browns aren't just choosing a starting quarterback. They're picking a direction, a legacy, and right now that choice threatens to divide the team before the first whistle blows. This roster, on paper, is one of the most balanced and talented in recent Browns history. Myles Garrett leads a savage top-tier defense. The offensive line is stout. The running game is always dangerous, and the skill position players, explosive when used right. The only missing piece? Reliable quarterback play. Find a quarterback who can protect the ball, make clutch throws, and lead with confidence, and suddenly Cleveland transforms from a playoff hopeful into a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Last season, despite instability at QB, this team stayed in games thanks to its elite defense and strong ground attack. With just a bit more consistency from the quarterback position, the sky's the limit. The AFC North, a fierce gauntlet. Let's not sugarcoat it. This division is a battlefield. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are always a threat. Lamar Jackson, back at full strength, makes Baltimore lethal again. The Steelers, though in flux, are never an easy out. That's why every game, every decision, every snap matters. The quarterback decision doesn't just affect Cleveland's future, it could influence playoff seeding, division supremacy, AFC championship contenders. It's that deep, that real. The unknown is what makes it so exciting. So who will it be? Will the Browns trust the veteran wisdom of Flacco? Will they unleash the high upside potential of Gabriel or Sanders? Or is a dark horse going to emerge in preseason on the Steelers' side? Will Pickett rise or fold under pressure? These are the stories that will shape the season, not just in Cleveland, but across the NFL. Your voice matters. Browns Nation, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Flacco has enough left in the tank to lead this team, or are you ready to roll the dice on the future? Gabriel or Sanders, drop your takes in the comments. We read every one. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and smash that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm you want more Browns updates, and it helps this community grow stronger. Shedeur Sanders, the electrifying rookie phenom from Colorado, arrived in Cleveland with sky-high expectations and a tidal wave of hype. But the buzz may be premature despite his undeniable talent. Reports surfacing from the Browns' second OTA session, open to the media, indicate that Sanders has virtually no chance of starting when the Browns face the Bengals in Week 1. Yes, you heard that right. 0. According to Zach Jackson of The Athletic, Shedeur has looked impressive in practice. When you watch him, he's a very gifted thrower. Accuracy, timing, all of that. If he can put it together, he's got a shot. That sounds promising until the rest of Jackson's quote lands like a hammer. But I don't think we should jump to conclusions. In other words, the talent is evident, but the coaching staff's trust isn't there, at least not yet. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach, remains tight-lipped about when or if Sanders might start. For now, Cleveland is leaning on experience and stability. That means 17-year veteran Joe Flacco or the newly acquired Kenny Pickett will likely be the ones to lead the offense out of the tunnel in Week 1. As for the rookies, they'll probably be watching from the sidelines. It's a four-way quarterback competition, Jackson confirmed, but added that there's less than a 4% chance that either rookie would realistically start in September. That's not just a slim chance, it's practically a locked door. Now imagine being Shedeur Sanders. The cameras adore you, the fans chant your name, and yet you're starting at the bottom of the depth chart, struggling to climb a ladder that's not just steep but bolted to the wall. But the quarterback room isn't the only source of tension. Let's talk about the wide receiver core. The Browns are staring down a glaring issue at WR. Jerry Jeudy is the clear-cut star, that much is certain. But who's the second threat? Cedric Tillman has flashed potential but hasn't delivered consistent production. Deontay Johnson, once a coveted weapon, is now a veteran on a prove-it deal, and he's already drawing side eyes for skipping voluntary OTAs. In a locker room desperate to reset its culture and leave behind the wreckage of a disastrous 2024 season, that kind of move doesn't go unnoticed. Johnson, who bounced between Carolina, Baltimore, and Houston last season, has undeniable talent, but carries a perception problem. Browns fans didn't hold back their frustration when he was a no-show for OTA. And while it's technically voluntary, the optics are brutal for a guy fighting to prove he still belongs. And just when the drama seemed to hit its peak, here comes Jamari Thrash. The 2024 fifth-rounder from Louisville barely saw the field last season, just 3 catches for 22 yards. But with Elijah Moore not re-signed and Jeudy occasionally sliding into the slot, Thrash is suddenly in the spotlight. According to Zach Jackson, Thrash was the first man up as the slot receiver in OTA ahead of veteran DeAndre Carter. Think about that. A rookie with almost no NFL resume is getting first-team reps. That's either a scathing indictment of the veterans or a clear sign that Cleveland sees something special in Thrash. His college tape backs it up. Dynamic yards after catch ability, breakaway speed in open space, and the kind of twitchy burst that cracks defenses wide open. If he earns Stefanski's trust, he could become the Browns' secret weapon this fall. The Browns' offense is undeniably in desperate need of a spark, but it's not just the offensive struggles grabbing headlines. Myles Garrett, the cornerstone of Cleveland's defense, now finds himself embroiled in controversy. Despite signing a record-shattering 4-year, $160 million, 0 cents extension this offseason, Garrett skipped voluntary OTAs. Technically permitted, sure, but symbolically it's a lightning rod. Fans were disheartened. Analysts openly questioned the message it sends. And the tension didn't stop there. One of his own teammates, fellow defensive end Ogbo Okoronkwo, fueled the fire by liking an Instagram post that criticized Garrett's leadership. That move ignited social media like a bonfire in the heart of First Energy Stadium. Coming off a season where he posted 14 sacks, 47 tackles, and 3 forced fumbles, Garrett remains one of the league's most formidable defenders. But now that he's the highest paid defensive player in franchise history and with a no-trade clause to boot, leadership is no longer optional, it's expected. Here's the twist. All of this drama is unfolding on the heels of a season where the Browns went from playoff hopefuls to cellar dwellers. When Gabriel first took the field at Browns OTA, it wasn't his arm strength or command of the huddle that stood out. It was the fact that compared to the colossal offensive linemen towering before him, he appeared diminutive. Not just rookie adjusting to the NFL small, but visibly undersized. Standing barely above 5'11", Gabriel's stature became an immediate focal point, and not just for fans or analysts. One moment said it all. Mason Graham, looming over Gabriel, effortlessly swatted down a pass attempt, a stark, almost theatrical demonstration of the quarterback's physical limitations. Gabriel, straining to arc the ball over the line, leaned into his throw, but it wasn't even close. The pass was rejected dead center in Graham's palm. It wasn't merely a failed play. It was a glaring testament to what the Browns had signed up for, and the scrutiny didn't stop there. Off the field, the media wasted no time piling on. Final thoughts. The Browns are at a pivotal moment in franchise history. The quarterback position remains an enigma, but that's also what makes this season so thrilling. With every throw, every drive, every decision, a new chapter is being written. And Browns fans, you'll be there for all of it. Cheering, hoping, believing. This team is hungry. The city is ready. The fans are unshakable. And if destiny is kind, 2025 just might be the year Cleveland finally finishes the story it started decades ago. Stay tuned. Stay faithful. Go Browns.